Greetings, Nick Bowcott here, and in this Sweetwater video we're going to be looking at this splendid grey object to my left. It's the Friedman Motor City Drive, an overdrive pedal that contains one of these bad boys, a 12AX7 tube, and it's being used correctly. There are certain devices out there that I won't name that have these in there, but they're about as effective as a kid's nightlight. It just glows, but it does nothing. Because to make these bad boys work, and these bad boys are the high gain amps tube of choice because they've got the most gain out there, you've got to hit them with some serious juice. So making them glow doesn't mean a damn thing. It's when they're glowing and kicking butt because they've been given the amount of juice they need that the magic starts to happen. To this end, the Friedman 12AX7, which is a JJ by the way, is being hit by 220 volts. But hold on, Nick, do I hear you cry with cynical indignity? How is that possible? 220 volts is nearly twice the amount coming out of the walls in the good old USA, and furthermore, this thing comes with a 12 volts power supply. You're lying to us. I promise you I'm not. I don't sell cars. Let me explain. So, how does the Motor City Drive magically take 12 volts, multiply it by 18.3 to make 220 volts to hit the 12AX7 to give us the magic we want from the tuboid? Easy. Electrical steroids. It's just called a switching power circuit, which is within this. For your information, the Motor City Drive will work with other power supplies between 9 and 12 volts, but they've got to hit it with 350 to 400 milliamps, and that's a lot of juice to deliver, or not all can. So please check the spec carefully and make sure the center is negative before you plug something else into that. But I don't know why you would. It comes with one, so use it. Incidentally, there's one very cool feature about the power supply that is supplied with the Motor City Overdrive, and it's this. It's universal, so when you go on your world tour, and I know you will, you can just take this bad boy, and thanks to these handy dandy gizmos, you can plug it into any country's wall socket you wish. This one's for the UK, and these are for, I don't know, somewhere else you'll tour on your mega tour, so it's cool. You're ready to rock wherever you are, whatever time zone, whatever country, whatever city. And talking of cool stuff that comes in the Friedman box, which is this sturdy beast here, it comes with this wonderful black velvety bag to protect your Motor City Drive pedal. This is really, really nice. Its texture is beautiful. It's made from 100% mole fur. I'm kidding. No moles were harmed in making this pedal. Save the moles. And last but certainly not least, within the box comes the smallest, most succinct and pretty funny manual ever. What's it tell you about the controls on the unit? Let me read it to you. It says this: drive, bass, middle, treble and volume. We know you know what they are. That's it. Thanks, Dave. Before we look closely at these controls, by the way, which are once again KISS, keep it simple, stupid, let's just quickly explain Motor City. Of course, you know that means Detroit. Nothing to do with Ted Nugent, nothing to do with Kid Rock, nothing to do with the MC5 or whoever else is from Detroit. It's to do with Dave, because Detroit's his hometown, so Motor City Drive it is. So here they are, the keep it simple controls. Drive, bass, middle, treble, and volume. And as Dave says in the manual, if you can call it that, you know what they do. Before we get on to the sounds though, a couple of things you should know. Number one, the tone controls, they're all passive, just like on classic amps. By passive, I mean they're not active. That just means they attenuate, i.e. reduce or take away. They don't boost or add anything. So when you've got treble full on, you're not adding anything, you're just letting full treble through. Make sense? The other thing is this: the tone network is post the gain stages, as opposed to pre. Post means after, pre means before, of course. Why they post? Well, that's what all high gain amps that are good have. Why? Well, think about it. It makes more sense to mash the signal, then shape it, rather than shape it, then mash it. The latter makes no sense. And there are a couple of amps that do that, i.e. they shape, then mash. And when you turn the gain up really loud, it kind of feels like the tone controls don't do anything. They are doing something, it's just their hard work is being mashed. So it doesn't make sense, so post-gain EQ is good. Right, let's hear some sounds, shall we? First though, the guitar I'm using is a Les Paul Traditional 2017 T, loaded with burst buckers. These pickups are basically PAFs that are hot rodded. The amp I'm running through, a good old all-tube 2x12 40-watt Fender Twin, and later on I'll be running through a new PRS behind me set to medium to mild gain, just so you can hear how the Motor City pushes an amp on the edge of the cliff, over the cliff. By the way, if you're wondering why I've got all these guitars and amps behind me, it's not to show off with what we've got here, because we've got way more than this. We used all of these when testing this pedal out, because obviously different guitars and different amps will affect how this bad boy sounds, because they each have their own unique sonic DNA. So we tried every variant. So behind me I've got an ESP loaded with EMGs, a Strat loaded with a JB, a fine Schecter Keith Marrow, and also a Charvel loaded with Duncan distortions, and also amp-wise a Mini Silver Jubilee 2525C, a Pink Taco 20 watt, and also an Artist 30 by Blackstar. They've all got different tubes, different tonalities, different speakers, different box sizes. So we tried every variant. I'm delighted but not surprised to tell you that this thing kicked butt in a Motor City way in every single combination. That said, let's play. Right, for our first setting, we're going to do what my dad told me. He said, son, if you want to hear a good amp, don't play. No, what he said was set all the settings to 12 o'clock. If it sounds good there, you're rocking, because you've got more to go each way. Best of both worlds, if you will. It swings both ways that way. So let's set it to 12 and rock. So I'm going to start off, go to the lead pickup with a burst bucker like a PAF hot rodded, and think Scottish-born brothers named Young who moved to Australia and one of them wears shorts. Not as good as them, but this is influence. Before I play though, let's hear the amp without the pedal so you know exactly what the pedal is doing. Make sense? Here's the amp without the pedal. As you can hear, the 12 o'clock rule works for this because it's a damn good amp in a box, effectively. That's pretty cool. One of the things I love about this pedal is just how versatile it is gain-wise. So what I'm going to do, believe it or not, is something I never ever do. I'm going to turn the gain down for this next setting. So let's go to that. As you can see, I've actually backed the gain off, and what I'm going to do now is, because this is very touch sensitive, just like a real tube amp, because that tube is getting 220 real volts with juice, proper milliampage. I'm going to turn the guitar down, play clean with the pedal on, then turn the guitar up so it'll swell a bit, and it's amazingly aggressive, as you'll hear, with the gain, or drive I should say, at about 10 o'clock. That means there's still 7 more hours of gain to go, and that's pretty rocking. Like I said, that's got a lot of bite and growl, a lot of girth on the low end. Nice and chunky and organic. Now it's time for me to change guitars to something with even higher output pickups, so we're going to go Charvel. So by digital trickery, here I am with the Charvel Duncan distortion pickups. For this one, I've put the drive up to 3 o'clock, so still another 2 hours to go in terms of gain. And for this particular thing, think 80s, think Hairspray, think men dressing like women, and some of them succeeding. If you want to know more about the fine Motor City Drive, go to www.sweetwater.com, or better still, call your sales engineer and he or she will guide you through this fine device from Mr. Friedman. Here I am with an ESP loaded with EMGs, a Kirk Hammett model of course, and I've also switched to the PRS Sunzera 20 watt 1x12 tube amp. I'm using the gain channel, and I've got the gain really low, and I've set all the tones at 12 o'clock. And what we're going to do is we're going to push it over the cliff with the fine Motor City Drive, which is off right now, so you can hear the amp by itself. Here's what the amp sounds like with no pedal, sans pedal. And there you have it. That's what the PRS sounds like without the Motor City driving it. Now I'm going to switch the pedal on because I'm going to try and play some blues. Yeah, right.